And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara Podcast. Here's Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. And if you're on the other side of the planet, happy Sunday to you. We've already got 3 people in the waiting room. It's going to be a busy night tonight. And there was I have some couple stories to tell you tonight too as well. Let's see who's waiting for us. And before we get started, I just want to let you know that if you want to join me, all you have to do is go to zoom.com, click enter a room or join a meeting. I think it's actually join a meeting. And then in the description below, what you will see is the room ID number and the passcode. So that's how you get in. It is case sensitive, so be careful on that. And then once you're in the room, you will be right here in this box in line. So we will have you here. And I think that we should just go ahead and get started since people are already here. So let's bring in our first guest, Bobby. Bobby, how's it going?
Very good, thank you.
How's everything in Australia?
Great.
Yeah? Well, happy Sunday to you over there. It is the winter. Is it very cold over there?
It is a bit cold, yeah, for me, but it's very beautiful, sunny, yeah, still.
That's awesome.
Gorgeous.
That's fantastic. Well, what do you have to share with us today?
So I thought I'd carry on my story a little bit more.
All right, you weren't here last week, so you're going to have to review us a second.
No, that's what I was just going to say. I've actually been holding on to some information that they passed to me in 2010. So it's been a while, and I really want to get this information out into a broader audience. So thank you for allowing me to do this. Recapping. So I was in New Zealand, and I'm the sort of person I am someone who can actually see into other frequencies, because my mum could see into other frequencies. This took me on this journey. So I ended up getting these messages as well back when I was 27 to think positively. That led me to they actually taught me to digging up a gold bracelet. So that was the first talk I had with you. And then the second talk is because I dug up that gold bracelet, they gave me all this positive mind frames and information on how to control my mind. And I ended up taking this massive leap of faith to move to Australia. And this is where I met this Cherokee elder who come from Ohio and was doing talks in Byron Bay. And she pulled me out of a crowd and I ended up working with her, and she talked to me telepathically for over an hour. So that was the last, yeah. Now, from there, because she talked to me telepathically, I decided, well, why not I use the fact that I can see into other frequencies to focus my intention into what is the potential of humanity, right? So I ended up getting all this information coming through about our potential. And some of it was to do with the pineal gland. I ended up waking up some days and there'd be like this little message saying, look at this video. And then I would end up looking at it. It would be someone from Jill Bolt Taylor who's doing a TED talk. She was a neurologist and she ended up having a stroke. She could actually feel into the right brain. And she's describing how she felt like it was everything. So we became everything. So there was little snippets that was happening. My dog is going to be a little annoying.
Oh, that's okay. Your dog's adorable.
Penny. Yeah, her name's Penny.
Well, let me stop you for 1 second. You say you see into other frequencies, right?
Yes.
How do you do that?
I just wake up and there will be things that are there that others can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen things during the day. It's just I have this really strong connection to my soul. Mm-hmm. And through that, I have this team that works with me. So they kept on bringing up all this information for me to delve further and further down the rabbit hole. In any case, my mum had exactly the same gift, but she shut it down. And so I want to get back to this really cool message that they gave me of our potential.
Now, this is for everybody, like a message for the world or a message for you?
Absolutely.
Specifically.
Yes. Any human.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So in the end, they were showing me that my 3-year-old daughter came up to me and gave me a big clue. She started talking about a place called Anion. And I'm like, okay, whatever. She's 3, she's going to bring up these weird words. But she brought it up again in a very mature manner. She said, Mummy, I know where we go when we die. It's a place called Anion. It's where everything is everything. But we live in our minds now, Mummy, but we also live in Anion as well. You can look it up, but you have to thank me for this one. And I thanked her. And then I looked it up and it was a quantum physics particle that they had actually found to create quantum computers. And it resided, I'm no scientist, but I read it through WikiLeaks or whatever it is, Wikipedia, that's right. No scientists, but they said that it was fermon and boson. It could reside between light or material, flip from one to the other. Now that was a really vital clue. So then I was taken to the fact that somatics had a part to play. So what they were teaching me was, first of all, we had to have a balanced brain. And the balance and within our logical mind, accepting our intuitive mind just as much. When we have balance within ourselves, then we are having access into our pineal gland. The pineal gland is a little eye within inside our mind. And it has these little tiny micro rods in it. Whenever a vibrational meet happens with that pineal gland, after it has a balanced chemical going through it of serotonin and melatonin, which is serotonin's during the day, melatonin's during the night, it will flip into producing a chemical called DMT. So the DMT flushes these little crystal rods that are now moving in a sequence pattern called somatics. And the somatics is produced by vibration. If you've ever seen somebody throw salt on a plate and there's a frequency run through it, it'll ching, all the salt will ching into these different beautiful patterns because the frequency is changed. Same with Tibetans, how they chant. When they're chanting, they have a specific frequency that they can go into, and they create it in their sand mandalas. And so the patterns end up forming, and they show them up on their sand mandalas. But they actually see them within their third eye, and it's the gateway into different frequencies. So we literally have the ability, when DMT flushes through these chemicals, it acts like an anion, like my daughter brought up, and it flips it into light. And then we as a soul, we are light. So then we have this expansion to be able to connect through the patterns that are literally codes or keys moving us into another frequency to be able to connect with wiser people of a different frequency. And we can bring that information down and choose if we want to ground it in this reality, to be able to shift our reality out of the matrix. So it's a lot.
Well, I think it's great information. My curiosity is, how do we get our brain to produce that DMT? Because as far as I understand, it only does that when we're dying, but how to get it to do it at other times?
Yes, we can produce it. We can produce it while we are in a very balanced state, moving into love. Love vibration is going to help, because love is that the light that we're seeking. And so we move ourselves into that frequency, and it literally produces the DMT to flip the crystals. But we have to love ourselves just as equally within ourselves as our outer world. And yet most people have been taught only to love the outer world, and hoping that the outer world will show them their love of themselves. They're going the reverse way. So we have to find our love within ourselves. And this is just as equal balanced love of our logical side and our grounded side, just as much as our imagination and our intuition. And that's what was being schooled with, the imagination and the intuition. So imagination and intuition is connected to the soul. It comes through feeling. So when we got all of this in balance and we go into a meditated state, we can literally produce the DMT within ourselves. They said it was a balance between serotonin and melatonin, and they said something about a better catch of food acid. I'm no scientist or anything like that, but that there was a chemical there that would help flip it. There's also foods that would help, but don't overdo anything. Anything with serotonin and melatonin. They show me a kiwi fruit. I don't know if you've heard of a kiwi fruit, because I come from New Zealand. That's what we call it.
We got them here.
So you can chop them in half, and they look like an eye, right? They actually look like a pineal gland. They have a high amount of serotonin and melatonin in them, and I think they had that better catch of food acid. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know why they led me to that, but any case.
Have you seen the Joe Dispenza documentary? I don't know if it's documentary, but his presentation on Gaia.
No, I haven't seen it.
If you ever get a chance, check it out, because he's got a whole episode just on the pineal gland. And it's amazing. And a lot of it's what you're talking about. I think he calls them tetrahedron crystals, or is actually microscopic crystals on the pineal gland.
I've seen an advert of it go past, but I never look into anything that my guides don't tell me to look into, because I want to get the information straight from them, so that I feel in my truth when I speak to anybody else.
Sure. Yeah. And you're kind of saying, I think, quite a bit what he says. And I think you're saying this, but maybe a different way. But basically, the pineal gland is the interface port between the body and our spirit. Yes, it is. It is the thing that we can enter. We enter through. We end up having this separated experience, and then, like you say, it will leave through that as well. But we can access it through, because it's accessing our soul, and our soul is God itself going on a journey in this body. And so, like, if the soul leaves, our body crumbles, it just falls to the ground. So we have to remember that there's, sorry. It's okay. No, RJ Spina in the chat said that meditation will take your body awareness, basically opens you up to higher frequencies. Would you agree with that? Yes, that can happen. Absolutely. Like, you go into a meditative state, and that means you're starting to shift your frequency into alpha, theta, delta. When you can experience life through delta, you're literally going off into other realities, and then bringing wisdom back. And that wisdom that we can gain, I mean, I can gain it now. My pineal gland's fairly open, because I was taken by them when I was 11 and so forth. And so they keep clearing my pineal gland through this journey. And so that opening, many people have had it crystallized over through the foods and the preservatives and not using it. It ends up being a very stuck crystal, kind of all collaborate,
congeal together into one big crystal, and it can't have that vibrational meet. But we can, through intention, anyone can clear that. They actually showed me to put the tongue on the roof of the mouth and then focus the point of your pineal gland like that, and then say to yourself, I am shaking it free. So that can actually help. There's many ways to shift it into being able to be used again, but everyone's going to go on their own specific journey to do this, to open it up. There's no right or wrong way on how we actually move forward into these higher frequencies and gain way more wisdom than what we've been told by our so-called leaders. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about using a certain breathing technique while having your body in a certain position to help pump the cerebral spinal fluid into the pineal gland to kind of activate it?
That sounds intriguing. I think that would work as well. Yes, because then you're at least focusing in on the pineal gland. That's the most important thing, is that you're focusing your attention in on that and allowing your imagination to flourish and not be afraid of it, of where it's going to take you. Like we've been taught to only focus our imagination in on a fear-based program. That's another thing that we need to take back to bring this balance in, because otherwise you end up, if you took DMT, if you took ayahuasca, and then let it flush through you when you were out of balance yourself, you will only be presented with that in reflection. So that fear would come straight back at you. So this is why it's important to know thyself before you start to challenge yourself into this new work. Know who you are. That means that the wisdom that's coming through, you can have a better understanding of where it's coming from, and you trust who you are then.
Bobby, thank you for that information today. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. What was your name of your YouTube channel again? I forgot it.
Bobby the Messenger.
Bobby the Messenger. So if you want to check out more of Bobby's content, take a visit to her YouTube channel. And what's your website? Is that also called Bobby the Messenger?
No, that's Codes to a New Reality.
Codes to a New Reality. All right. All right. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
it's
Jeff.
great seeing you again, and have a wonderful day down under.
Down under. Bye.
Bye-bye. And a big round of applause for Bobby. All right, up next is Randall Smith. Let's see what Randall's up to. Now, the name, Randall's name is very... I've been chatting with him, I think. Let's see. Randall, how's it going?
How's it going? How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
How's your day going?
Oh, it's been long.
Been a long day?
Been a long day, yeah.
Well, I first want to say I love your beard. I think it's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Where are you zooming from?
I am zooming just west of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne. All right. Never been there. I don't think I've actually been to the state. So guilty of that. I should try to go to every state, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's a lot of corn here.
A lot of corn?
Yeah, a lot of corn.
Well, what do you have to share with us today?
Well, you had said something to me earlier about possibly doing, a little spot on my book or this and that,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am a near-death experiencer, and because of that experience, I do have hands-on healing ability.
Wow.
And this experience happened to me when I was 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to go through the whole thing on this particular spot right here, and because of that, I do have hands-on healing energy within my hands. And my mom always, come up to me and ask me to kiss her head to take her headache away, or touch her back or arms or whatever, my family was pretty much the same way. So over my years and years and years of doing this, I'm 61. This happened in 1968 for me. I was 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a crazy long life. And I do see a lot of clients. I visit a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people visit me, and everybody needs some sort of healing, almost everybody needs some sort of healing. So what do you do? I mean, I can't personally touch everybody, and I know there's a lot of other healers out there that do the same thing. So we can't touch everybody. So I come across this little device here, Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
about 9 months ago.
Mm.
Okay. It's called the Prife Iteracare.
Is this something that you invented, or you just
No,
found it
I
online?
did not invent this. No, actually, I was told about this because they know that I do healing and things of that sort. I have a healing center here in Indiana,
Mhm.
and I see a lot of clients and customers, and somebody told me I would be interested in this particular device. I says, okay, I'm game, you know. Again, I do hands-on healing, and I
What is
also
it? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what is it called again?
it's called Prife
Prive.
Iteracare. Yeah,
Is
Prife.
it something to do with Rife frequencies or something like
No,
that?
it is close to the right frequencies. It works on scalar waves, and also it works on the terahertz frequency.
Okay.
Terahertz frequency is between microwave and 5G, and there's a little gap there. And
Mhm.
we discovered that that little gap creates a healing environment within the body. You can't say that it heals anything, but once the body is brought back into alignment, magic happens.
Hmm.
Okay, so anyways, somebody told me about this particular wand right here, and like I said,
Uh-oh, you're freezing on me.
and the magic to it is, sorry, man.
It's okay.
The
You're back.
magic to it is it sends out a frequency of 7.83, which is the same frequency as the cells in your body. So when you blow this device on your body, it's like a hair dryer. It's really like a hair dryer. So you just turn it on, and there's a crystal in the tube, and you blow it on you. And I in my left hand, I'm 61. I was getting ready to retire from upholstery because this tugging and pulling and tugging and pulling is so hard on me, you know, and I'm a retired professional drummer. So I
Oh,
really, I
wow.
gave that up in 2003 because my hands just can't take the abuse, you know? So this was shown to me by a friend of mine, and I told the lady, I says, let me work on it. I'll take it for 5 minutes. And if I can get any kind of relief in my left hand, because my left hand is swelled, my left thumb is swelled because it's my grab and pull hand. So, and I used it for, she had me drink some water, and I used it on my hand. And dude, I got complete mobility back in my hand. I haven't had this since I was probably in my 40s. And I'm not shooting you any bull, man. You know, this is my reputation on the line here. I do hands-on healing to a lot of people. I have complete mobility back in my thumb again. I'm just absolutely floored.
Well,
So,
next time you're going to have to come play us a drum solo to prove it.
all right, there you go. I'll do that. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
is this thing putting out like positive or negative ions or
It's putting
electrons?
out, it's not putting out any ions at all. It's blowing out terahertz frequency. And the terahertz frequency brings the body back in tune and alignment. When you have cells that are all over the place, your cells in your body, they're all over the place. When you blow this wand in the water you're drinking, it makes the water linear instead of globular. So when you drink the water, you charge the water by holding the wand over the top of the water, you blow the water, and it charges it to the 7.83 terahertz. And when you drink that, we are 70 to 80% water. And when you drink that, your whole body aligns and attunes to that. So the healing automatically starts within the body just by bringing it back into balance again, instead of everything being globular. When your blood runs in a linear fashion, Jeff, all your organs will absorb quicker and better as opposed to just bouncing off of everything. Same thing with your blood. I've got a tooth infection. I had to go to the doctor yesterday. I use the wand a lot, but they checked the air, the oxygen in my blood. And when they pull it off my finger, the lady's going, it's 99%. And then as she pulled off, it went up to 100%. She goes, we just don't see that. And then she goes, your heart rate is 72. We just don't see that. It's usually people's all over the place. And my blood pressure is 133 over 80. And that's really good. So at 61, I think I'm in good shape. But anyways, so people come to see me for needs on the healing perspective. Okay. And I started recommending this wand. And the reason why I recommend the wand is because I charge I have a fee for visiting my store. So, and for the price of this, and you can take this home and use it on yourself all the time without any issues. And the only bad thing about it that I have found so far is I can't keep my mouth shut. But it's a good device. It's great. It's brand new to the market. once the pharmaceuticals and the med establishment figures this thing out, we'll probably get it outlawed and banned, because I'm telling you what, I don't recommend anything as far as that is concerned, but this right here, dude, this works. I mean, this thing works. And I'm blown away at how well it works. Everything from psoriasis, man, to different cancers and stuff. I can't say that it heals anything. Once you bring your body back into tune and alignment, it will heal itself. The energy that created the body heals the body. While I was in my near-death experience, I was taken to a room, and this room, I was guided there by two spirit beings, and they were shimmering, and they asked me to go up to the side of this well. This well was big, and they gestured for me to put my hands into the well. And when I put my hands into the well, I had a tingling sensation coming from the well. And then that well was confetti-looking material, and it was charged. It had a real it's really weird. It just had a like tingling sensation going in the fingers. And I believe that's how I brought that healing ability back to the physical presence I'm in right now. And this thing right here does the same thing. It does the same thing. They've got technology, Jeff, that is absolutely mind-blowing. This thing is just, yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, Randall, I appreciate you.
Yeah, and I am a near-death experiencer.
Did we schedule you?
Go ahead. No, go ahead, man.
Have we? Because
Yes.
when I saw your
Yes.
name, I recognized it. We have scheduled you to do your whole near-death experience. Have we
Yes, we
scheduled
did.
that? I was trying to, while you were speaking, I was trying to check my calendar to see if I had it. It's hard for
Yeah,
me to
you've
see.
got
It's
me.
far.
You've got me Monday at noon, your time.
Oh,
or
there you
Central
are.
Time.
There you
Yeah.
are. Okay, I'm glad. I just kind of glanced at, like I said, it's kind of a distance from my eyes. It's hard for me to see. So Monday at noon, we'll be
Monday at
with
noon.
Randall to hear his complete NDE, so hopefully you guys will get to hear the whole thing next week.
Very good.
Randall,
Thank you,
well,
Jeff.
thank you, Randall, for coming and sharing with us. I'll see you on Monday.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, sir. See you
Take
then.
care, bud.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. And let's see, where is this window? There it is. All right, that was Randall. So we'll get to hear about his NDE on Monday. Sound pretty interesting that he put his hand in a well and felt like some glitter stuff. All right, my wife here is saying someone in the chat had an NDE or something and wanted to pop in. So if you want to get in and share with us, all you have to do is go to zoom.com and you click join a meeting. It was Tony what? Tony Cottage. Weeks ago, maybe 4. I'm still trying to process it. Tony Koretch. If you're still there and you had an NDE, pop on and share it with us. If you don't want to, if you don't feel like you're ready to share it live, then my email address is in the description below, and you can share it with me privately, and then I'll make it as a video. If anybody else wants to join us live, all you have to do is go to join a meeting on Zoom, and below is the, I'm a little nervous, okay, and camera shy, but helping on, okay, well, like I said, Tony, we can have you today, or you can email me and we can do it privately if you feel more comfortable doing it privately. So yeah, if you just join us by going to Zoom, click join a meeting, the room ID and the passcode are in the description below. And at that note, let's bring in Gertrude. Now, Gertrude was a guest before. Helping on. Okay, well, like I said, Tony, we can have you today. Gertrude, email me and we can do it privately if you feel more comfortable. She's there somewhere. Hey, Gertrude. Can you hear me? Hello?
I'm.
Yeah.
Why is it?
You're here
I
with
can't
us.
hear you.
You can't hear me? We hear you just fine. Can you hear me? Or
I
see-
don't know. I can't hear you.
Oh, you may have muted your. Well, you can't hear me
Yeah.
anyways. Um. Let's
I
see. Let's see what we have here that says I can hear you. Waiting for you to sync. Penny Sutton, she's probably there. Yeah, there she's there. She'd made me all these wonderful things, and I want to. But we always make them for that we can hear. We can't hear you.
yes,
Oh, you
now.
hear me now.
Yes,
All
I
right, Gertrude, how have you been? Gertrude, you
very
was my
well.
guest before, and we talked about her growing up and leaving the. She was in the convent and her other adventures. What podcast number was that? Do you remember, Gertrude?
No. Yeah.
I don't remember either. It was probably about what, 3 months ago? Somewhere between
Yes.
3 and 6 months ago you were on?
Yes. My interview with you was on March 7th.
Ah, there you go. She was there with March 7th, and she is a channeler. And are you still channeling?
Yes. And I'm getting better at it.
Oh, great.
Takes
Oh,
me a long time. And it's very hard for me because of self-doubts.
yeah,
I found that is the biggest block to channeling.
really?
Yes, for me.
Do you think that you can channel for us this evening? Like right now? Are you up for it? Because I have people that we could all ask the channel questions.
Oh, so right now I'm able to feel this collective with me very strongly.
Would you like
It's
to?
so strong with me that, yeah.
Would you like to channel with us now? We have people that can ask the channel questions.
Okay.
All right, before you do, though, I'm going to let it, because there's like a time delay. So if you want to ask the channel questions, be sure to type them in the chat. Now, who are you channeling?
Is a collective I call Lhasa and Collective, but they're actually the Ra collective that I have been training for over around 2 years now.
Yeah.
To channel. It took me 1.5 years to start channeling them.
It's fascinating because I just did a podcast with Aaron Abke. Do you know who he is?
Yes, he's very good.
Yeah, we just did one a week or two ago all about the law of one and Ra. So you are channeling the same collective?
No, it's younger. The collective that share the law of one is actually subgroup 7. And this one is subgroup 1. It's like a younger Ra. 6 density subgroup 1.
All right. All right, that'll be interesting. So are you a trance channeler or do you do it consciously?
I started consciously. Now I believe it's semi because when I started the consciously, I get into space and then I waited and it's like taking detection. I can see the words coming in and I voice it. But now the energy is so strong and a few times they simply take over. And when they take over, it's like they are telling me, we are, like we are taking over like the drivers well, and so it's like I am on the side hearing.
Okay.
Not everything, but here and there. I have to play back to get the whole message.
Oh, wow. So you're going to have to go watch this podcast later to even figure out what you said.
I can hear I can hear myself to some extent, but not when it's long channeling, not the whole thing.
Okay.
And the energy is very, very strong. It's around my third eye chakra, my crown chakra. And then when they get so strong, it's just like they take me over. And I know there are channelers who do not want that, but I expressly ask them to come in and take me over because then I can channel them better.
All All right, the name of this, it's the Raw Collective, or it was Lhasa something?
So I asked them for a name
Mm-hmm.
because before I was channeling uh, under a name given to another channeler.
Mm-hmm.
But so I asked them to give me a name. So they gave me Lhasa, but it's the Ra Collective.
Okay, so we'll address it as Lhasa. Okay, whatever you have to do to prepare, we're ready.
Yeah, okay. So is there a specific question or just want a message from them?
Well, we have, I think people are typing questions in the chat, so we'll just ask the questions and see what Lhasa has to say.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting ready
Okay, you
for
just
the
let us know when you're
question.
ready.
Oh, yes, I'm ready. I'm
Oh,
waiting
you're
for the
ready?
question.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry about that.
Lhasa, thank you for joining us. What does the collective have to say about aliens and angels? Are they the same thing?
They are very different. Angels are from the angelic realm. We are too, but we were never aliens. We, as all of you, start from first density and work ourselves out. Now we are in sixth density. We are light beings, and you can say we are from the angelic realm, but we look nowhere like the angels. You imagine angels to look. We have big heads, big eyes, and tall and spindly. And we are light beings. We are a collective of 20 million, and we reside in the Pleiades.
Do we all have spirit guides or guardian angels with us at all times?
Yes, you do. Not only spirit guide and guardian angels, but angels, ascended masters, and entities, ETs, entities like us on the other side. You have the Pleiades, the Arcturians, and we are all ready to help you, especially during this time of ascension to fourth density. That is why we are here. And that is why we suggest to this channeler to channel us, because we want our messages to go out. Our messages of the law of one, the oneness, service to others. With this, once our message gets out, especially now, with so many awakening, it helps them awaken further, ignite their light, their fire, and their power, which help to raise the vibration of planet Earth. It is very important that the vibration of planet Earth and humankind, so that they will be ready to ascend to fourth density. The earth is already in fourth density, but not humankind, though those born after 2012 are of fourth density.
How do we better connect with our guides and angels?
Meditation is a good tool. Through meditation, you silence and still your mind, and you are better able to hear your spirit guide and make the intention also. The intention is very important. Make the intention by talking to them, spend time talking to them, ask them questions, be aware of their presence, and especially ask them for help, because due to free will, your angels, spirit guide, and we are not able to help you, even if we want to, unless you call us in or ask us for help. Your birth angel would be able in situation to stop your exit when it is not your time for exit. But for us, you do need to call us in. And that is why we ask that you call us in for help, and we are here, always are ready to help you. And we are not bound by time, so we are always available.
Why is it that some people can see their spirit guides and some people can't?
It depends on so many things. For instance, background. If you come from a background very skeptical of such things, you are conditioned not to believe in it, and as a result, you place blocks. The most effective way to have that door open is, first off, not to fear it. Fear is a big block. And then believe it and not doubt it. If you experience anything that you know to be from the spirit realm, affirm it. Do not question it. Do not second guess it. Affirm it. With that affirmation, you will see more and more easily.
Are we also assigned ETs as well?
You have your spirit guide. You are assigned your spirit guide in the contract that you draw out before you reincarnated. You have your guardian angel, but no, ETs are not assigned. However, there are many of you who reach out to us. And when you reach out to us and ask to channel us and work to channel us, then you will be able to channel us. It is chiefly by that means. As with this channeler, we suggested that she channel us. And so she set herself to doing it against a lot of odds. And finally, she started channeling us. And it is not an easy task to channel us. For one thing, it has to be like a way of life. You have to set yourself to it every day. Get up at 4 a.m. to do meditation and work every day to channel us. It cannot be a touch and go, because then you would be channeling us sporadically. So it is a dedicated way of life, you could say.
How did you choose Gertrude as your vessel?
We saw her and we knew she has potential. And she had sessions with us. And when we felt the time was right, we suggested to her that she channel us. Her immediate response was, no, I don't do channeling. We pointed out to her that it would help her if she channel us. And with that, she set herself to not only to channel us, but pledge herself to channel us till the remaining of her days here on planet Earth. And we appreciate that very much.
Lhasa, that's all the time I have today, but I hope you come back again on another Saturday and channel for us.
We appreciate that very much. It is our pleasure to be here with you all. And we hope to be back and be with you all. And we leave you in the love and unity of the one infinite creator.
Did you get any of that, Gertrude?
Yeah. Yes. It's, well, with time, I hope that, you know, the energy, because I will get more and more used to their energy, but recently their energy has been very, very strong, where, you know, I have a hard time speaking sometimes because the energy is so strong.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I can feel them. And then at certain parts, you know, my whole body become very warm.
Hmm. Are you, well, now what is the name of your YouTube channel?
Trudisu, Trudihsu.
All right, and you are channeling Lhasa on your channel. You're making videos of that.
Yes.
Oh.
And recently, what is very exciting for me is I find myself, when I was channeling him in one of the latest videos, the second one, I believe, he suddenly, you know, he took over, and then he suddenly told me, you are looking at God in the face. And then I suddenly realized I am looking at God, and it is looking at this immensity, but there is only God and I, that energy. And so, and then yesterday I had my solo life, and again that came through. So I am kind of, I will see as time goes on where they are going with this, because I do experience God in my private meditation. But when it comes out in channeling, then it's a different experience is very, very strong. And it's like, you know, when I experience God in meditation, it's like a quiet thing. And when it's during channeling, then it's like it's brought up in sharp relief. And, you know, the whole experience is very, very, I was saying, very captivating, because it just holds the person like in that kind of captivation, and you just want to stay in that space forever and not leave it because it's so nice.
RJ Spina says, Gertrude, you are very pure. Keep practicing. The channeling will become effortless.
Thank you. I have to admit, it has been very difficult, and I dread it. And, you know, and sometimes I just ask them, why did you pick me? I am almost 70. I should be nicely retired, living a quiet life. And then you throw me into this YouTube thing and channeling. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Gertrude. And maybe you can come back next Saturday and channel for us some more.
I love to.
All right.
Because they do want their message to go out, and this is a perfect platform. And thank you very much for having me here.
All right, Gertrude. Well, you have a great rest of your weekend.
Okay.
You take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Uh-oh. I made a mistake on that one. Shouldn't have did that. I got to figure out a smoother way to get back out of that. But anyways, a big round of applause for Gertrude. And next is Susan Coleman. So let's see what's up with Susan. And she's almost here. Ask to unmute. Susan, can you hear me? Hello? I can't hear you very well. You're kind of...
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
I think you need to turn down the volume on the YouTube channel.
There I am.
Now go to YouTube.
Okay.
Go to YouTube and turn off the volume on your YouTube video.
Alrighty, how's that?
I think that'll be good. Yeah, so we won't be echoing. So Susan was here. We talked about her NDE, and she's back today. How have you been, Susan?
I have been doing very well, and this time I remembered you saying something about Stephen Schwartz.
Stephen Schwartz. I don't even know what I said.
Okay.
You have to remind me.
Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind.
Okay, yes, I watched that movie. Yes, it was good.
Yes,
with
I
Stephen
watched
Greer.
that too last night, and then today I watched Unacknowledged.
I watched that one too. Yeah, that was good.
So I'm on my way. He's got Cosmic Hoax and something. I think it's Cyrus that he's also got out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw him on a podcast where he's starting to do something on, I think it's pronounced Gaia.
Gaia, yeah, like the network.
Yes. And it amazed me that all of these things have been hidden since like the 1940s.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be a good guest to have on there. I
Now,
watched him all over the place.
I think this is a good time to talk about this because it sounds like you have Amazon Prime, right? Amazon Prime Video.
Right.
I just watched a science fiction movie. I finished it yesterday. It's on Amazon Prime and it's a fictional space movie, but it's called Valerian with a V. Valerian. I think it's called City of a Thousand Planets or City of a Thousand Aliens or something like that. But it had an amazing thing on there, and if you have Amazon Prime, the movie's, it's okay. It's a fun movie, I'll put it that. But there's this one part of the movie that I found fascinating and reminded me of NDEs, and that is they go to a planet, and if you're in 3D world, you're looking out, you just see a desert, and you see people walking around the desert with like a headset on. But when they have their headset on, they're in a different frequency, like in a different dimension, and they're actually interacting. And it's like a giant flea market. They're shopping. So when you see it from their eyes with the goggles on, they're actually in a real place and they're buying stuff and shopping. But when you see it from regular world looking at them, you just see people wandering around the desert. So we talk about in NDEs that would, when people are on the other side, they're right here with us, but in a different frequency. And it's the same thing as they're shopping. Part of them's here and part of them's over there, but they're with people in a different frequency buying stuff. And actually, when they finally finish shopping, they come back to the 3D world and then they use some kind of machine to buy whatever they bought and pull it from that frequency into our frequency.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
Because
it's a
it
great.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So that
It's
again.
fiction, but a lot of fiction nowadays, I don't think is fiction.
So again, if you have Amazon Prime Video, and I don't get anything out of this, I'm just letting you know, check out that movie, Valerian. If you put Valerian, you should be able to find it, but it's Valerian, I don't know, City of a Thousand Planets or something like that. But I think it was fascinating. So
Yes, I thought it was fascinating that we've got ETs everywhere, and the fact that you can communicate with them through thought and let's see, I want to say enlightenment, but that's not the right word.
Did you see my video with Dr. Courtney Brown, Susan?
I don't think so, but I know it was on our list.
Well, Courtney was saying that there are thousands of ETs above us flying all the time and they're cloaked. And he said if you just buy a camera, it's got to be 120 frames per second in 4K. And then you've got to change it to where it's recording in infrared, not regular camera. And you just point it at the sky and hit record for 10 minutes and you will you will record a UFO flying by. And it's pretty amazing.
Yes.
And I went to his Instagram channel. He does have Instagram and he shows some of those videos, and I think he'll eventually come back. And I think the next time that he comes back, I'm gonna have him play some of those videos. I think that would be a great next step.
But be careful because Stephen Schwartz he claims ETs protect him, and he claims there are people on our planet that protect him also. Because the government doesn't want us to know this, because it would cause panic, and then, which it would, but then COVID caused panic too, and it's just amazing what the government knows that we don't know, that we probably should know, that they keep secret. But yes, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. There are ETs out there. And the thing I found interesting is you think they're here to hurt us, but basically what Stephen Schwartz is trying to do is be like a welcoming committee.
Mm-hmm. Do you mean
And
Stephen Greer?
yes, Stephen Greer.
Right.
I'm thinking of the other guy.
That's okay.
Yes. Anyway, but it's like his goal is to be like a welcoming committee and be friends and not start a universal war everywhere and all that, and just, because he believes they are trying to protect us from ourselves, which is probably a good idea because there's so much going on, but
Now,
that is good.
quite a few of my NDE guests also see UFOs, and you've had an NDE. So, do you see UFOs?
I have not really looked, but I also put an infrared camera on my phone yesterday.
Hmm.
I don't know if it'll be strong enough or what, but it would not surprise me because I meditate, and that is the way they communicate. They did a test on this mountain where with so many people, and you can communicate with ETs with your thoughts and your meditation, and you can call them to you. And they filmed it where they showed up.
Mhm.
And I found that extremely interesting because, the government might not like that, but if they want to be friendly and if they want to help us, I think it would be good. But there's a lot out there with ETs, and hopefully Mr. Greer will keep going and opening up channels so we can know what's happening.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
that's about all I wanted to say. It's totally
Well,
different.
Susie, that's different from your NDE, but I'm happy you came, and thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Yes, and I will be on the lookout because once you have an NDE, it totally changes you,
Right.
and it would make sense to see an ET. It does.
Right. I'm glad you said that. All right, Susan. Well, I'm going to run. Thank you so much for coming back and being with us. Don't be a stranger.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, this is home base.
All right. We'll see you later.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
And a big round of applause for Susan. All right, so I'm going to share something with you yesterday, what happened over the last couple days. Let me get them here. It was about, I think it was 2 or 3 nights ago. I was in one of the most challenging situations, I guess one of the most challenging situations in my life with a family member. And it was a very, very difficult situation. And we talk a lot about angels and connecting with your guides or your spirit angels or people on the other side. So in dealing with this situation, I happened to look down and find a feather. And eventually we fixed the situation. It was amazing. So that's pretty wild. And I put it, we were in the driveway of their house. And I decided, because we talk about this stuff, maybe it's another family member from the other side, or maybe it's my spirit guide, or maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. So I put it in the yard is all rocks. I just put it in the rocks and thought, okay, well, we'll see what happens, or I'll give it back to the earth or whatever. So I go back over to the family member's house the next day, and I was looking for this. Actually, I didn't see it, but I didn't look that, I didn't look too closely to find this. I was just thinking about it. And so I went in the house and did stuff, and everything seemed to be doing fine, and I'm better, and everything was getting better. So on my way out, walking to my car, I found another one, another feather. So I thought, wow, it's 2 in a row. That's amazing. Again, is this a communication from somebody on the other side? I'm not sure, but I thought it was pretty awesome. So I thought, and then I went to the house today, and unfortunately I didn't find a feather, but that doesn't mean that I'm still not getting communication. So anyways, I thought that was pretty cool, and I thought I would share it with you guys, and I'm curious to see what you guys would say in the comments. And so let me keep them over here. It would have been amazing if I would have found a third one today, but maybe since I was kind of expecting to find a third one, it didn't happen. I don't know. I'm going to put it in my, see if it'll stay here, in my trophy for the world's best dad. All right, so see what this says. It says, Karen says, this happens to me every week. Mom is present. It's only synchronicities from Tanya. I keep all feathers. All roads lead to the center of town where the truth is. I love it. See, there are no coincidences again. Those feathers are amazing protection to the baby birds. Keeps them warm, dry, protects them from the sun. Feathers are love. Thanks for sharing, and more. So, all right, well, cool. Thank you, guys. All right, let's bring on the next guest. And that's the dream detective, Mr. Michael Suarez. I should have put my little background music on. I miss my background music. Michael, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Okay.
Now I got you.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you.
That's okay.
Those signs, right? Little things like that.
Well, that is thank you to our one and only Penny Sutton. I hope Penny's still here, and I'm going to talk about this while I got Penny. She makes all these cool little cards. She made all these little cool cards for me and everything. Cool. She designed our logo. She's designed, actually, if you see the cup that's there on the YouTube page, she designed that. And so we are going to start releasing every month, instead of just a JeffMara podcast merch that just has our name, we took in sayings from some of the guests and created artwork. Well, actually, Penny's done it for us. So I'm hoping to have it ready for you guys in the next few days. And I want to have one like once a month, like it's going to be a coffee cup and a t-shirt, because I think those are the two things that most people purchase. So I'm going to just make one of each, and I'm going to try to make, we have a whole bunch of designs that she's created for us that are amazing. And each month we're going to release like a new one. And I don't know if I should keep them there forever or just like a one-time deal for a month and then it's gone. What do you think?
I have things to say about that, but I'm going to leave that alone, except for this part.
All right.
Meaning I've heard people talk about like whether you should leave it there for like a limited time only type of thing. But from a more intuitive perspective, I was very into when you were, there's the lag when you were talking about feathers.
Yeah.
Right. And there you go, brother. There's an idea for maybe one of the other future cups or merchandise, right? That mysterious feather, which, since we're just flowing with it, let's talk about that for a second. Nothing is accidental. All things are symbolic. We are in a dream. So what does that mean, a feather? Does Michael have to tell you, or does Michael just point it out, right? A feather belongs to things from above. Right? And when you are flowing with it in your subconscious, in that spiritual realm, then they come to you naturally. When we try to apprehend it with the conscious mind, we stumble. We're like, okay, where happened? So yeah, that's what was coming to me as we were talking about
Oh
it.
wow, yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a great way. And again, maybe I was, like I said, I was expecting one today, and with my conscious mind, and it didn't show up.
Yes. Yeah, because again, it's in that invisible realm,
Right.
right?
I should have just released it.
Yeah. Sometimes though it's fine, because even that, Jeff, come on, class, like that's a lesson right there. We just learned about the law of attraction, if we believe that, right? We're like, oh, I got to be in my subconscious, so just kind of like let it rest, almost like the seed that's going to grow. But either way, Jeff, it was amazing testimonies.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So what do you have to share with us this week?
So I just wanted to come on and went in the spirit. I am a little bit nervous, but I thank God for the spirit. I was just like, hey, let me come and offer, like, hey, do people have questions on dreams, or do people have particular dream that's not super long that they just wanted to mention? And so whatever, anything that if you want to try to do it like that, anything that someone puts in and it seems interesting, if we want to if somebody puts an interesting bit of dream in there, we can answer it. But I will start off before we got started, or when we got started today, somebody, Thania, so shout out to Thania and shout out to Straw Piglet Soul Fam, they put in a dream. So it's a nice simple dream, and it'll teach a little bit about being a dream detective, because it'll teach where the application comes in and how the application fixes your mind. It's like, oh, I get it now, but it's still the main symbology. So Thania mentioned a dream where a car drove up like uphill up a mountain, let's say, to a house, and it got there safely and fine. And then another one went up and tried to do it, but instead it like crashed and caused a whole bunch of accidents. Relatively simple dream, okay? So cars are pretty common. That means symbolizing going somewhere, right? Or being transported. So when I first heard the dream, I explained it to her probably like this. I said, hey, that's probably you seeing an example of two people pursuing a goal. The first person does it, and then when the other person tries to do it, they crash and they're not able to do it. And that symbology makes sense. However, and again, this is where it comes into being a dream detective. One of the things I've learned is getting little bits of information from the dreamer can certainly make it like, I got it now. So she mentioned, oh, I'm so tired. Later in the same, when we were talking, she said, oh, I'm so tired, I'm working a second job. And I knew it right there. I said, that's what that is, right? Like and she was saying, like, it really has me exhausted to the point where it's a problem, right? So again, she tried to get up the first and she was fine, but this second job, her subconscious mind, this is the glory of it, her subconscious mind is counseling her from her dreams. This is something we talked about it, that was very much on her mind, and her subconscious mind delivered this information. And again, what interpretation does is it just shows out the symbols that are there speaking to the dreamer. That makes sense?
I think we've got one in here.
Okay.
Let's see. Went to a work party with our CEO, got separated, and I was trying to call him from an old-timey phone, but could not connect. Then I was trying to take a bath, but the bathtub was empty.
Okay, so let's just do that first part. Okay, so when we like, hey, what is this dream about? Very easy. It's about your work. Okay, it's about your work. You want to take it a little further? It's about your work and your relationship with your boss. Plain and simple. Again, Michaels doesn't have to prove it. He's just pointing it out. What is it telling you? In some way, there's an insecurity there because you feel separated from your boss, right? You see that there? So then there is this symbology of you trying to connect to your boss. First, you still feel separated. So what you do is you're trying to connect. However, the way that you used to connect, you consider it old-fashioned. That's why you're using this old-fashioned phone, and you're feeling like it's not effective, right, in communicating. So usually with the bath thing, that's when a person, almost the few times I've seen it, that's when a person is trying to wash off the emotional residue or issues of life, and they're having trouble. They will. I remember talking once about somebody who had a whole bunch of water bugs on them. Right, that was a very grotesque scene. Yeah, but that's hopefully that gives people a good sense of, for that dreamer and, how these things work in general.
All right, let's see. I thought I had one more here. Where was it? My dreams that I'm flying with ETs, they were huge, long, and only light.
Okay, relatively straightforward, but again, always a lesson in symbology. In my dreams, I'm flying with ET. Flying indicates perspective. Come on, right? If I'm flying above, I have this more perspective. This dreamer believes somewhere in their heart that finding or connecting to an ET or a being of light is going to give them that perspective that they are like, it's going to give them spiritual perspective. It's going to enable them to fly. And hallelujah, I'm in agreement with that.
All right. Let's see. I think I have one more here. I am in big problems, and during my dreams I feel so strong and like someone saying it will be okay, and feel so peaceful. And once I wake up, I am again in my big stuck situation, but having a good feeling.
Okay, like that's awesome, right? That means I want this person to really hear this. Where did that dream come from, right? It came from your own mind, which we might call, because it's in the invisible realm, your higher self. That's a testimony, my brother or sister, that there's a being in the spirit realm that cares about you. Because what is that being doing? It's encouraging you in this battle. So take that to heart. Know that, like, wow, I am so fearfully and wonderfully made that while I'm sleeping, my subconscious mind is rooting for me. It's like, come on, you can do it. Let's go. That's one of the, I love that dream. I love that dream. I haven't heard things exactly like that before, but it's very clear. That's what I call, Jeff. I make this distinction between, again, emotional catharsis or emotional expression. And then sometimes, I don't know where the fine line is yet, but there's this messaging. There's this messaging that seems to be very direct for the dreamer. And it seems like an example like that. And by the way, Jeff, yes, I did change it. I did change my name to the Dream Detective.
Great job. Here's one. I've had a very lucid dream with ex-wife. We were cheek to cheek in complete love and understanding.
Okay, so there's two things there because it's lucid. If it was non-lucid, that would mean that there's an affection for her, there's a desire to connect, right? You would only do something like that if you wanted to connect. The fact that it's lucid it injects awareness. So like this would almost be like, oh, I'm aware, like you have a moment of realizing you missed this person. That would be lucidity added to the symbology that's there. I hope that makes sense, dreamer.
All right. Let's see.
Like
a dream of many ancient queens of all nations bathed me in a golden tub.
Okay, so this means something that you are studying, right? Or something that you are becoming familiar with. This idea of royalty, this idea of queen, I'm not totally clear on it. It's washing you. Okay, that's the symbology. Again, the queen thing, right? And then like you're in this bath. So again, it would be like maybe, for example, getting clean of the old, right? The old has passed, the new has come. This new mindset or this new way of thinking. That would be the general things that are at work there. But from what you're describing, sounds beautiful, dreamer.
All right. Had a meeting at a round table with two family members who are estranged in real life. We sat and said to each other, we did it.
Interesting. So again, this is relatively straightforward, but of course, every detail counts. So for example, the fact that they mentioned that they're in a round table, that means something, because if there was more aggression, more hostility, it would be an angled table. This roundness is about like us gathering around. So this would seem to imply the desire to want to reconnect or feel we should be reconnecting again in this round table in this spiritual way to those estranged family members at some level. And I mean, especially if this is what it is, that idea of we did it, let's approach it like this again, right? What could that be talking about, guys? Because again, this is all asking questions, my friends. What could that be talking about? What showed up in the dream? The estrangement, right? So we did it. These are something like overcoming the estrangement, for example, right? That would be the application there. And really amazing. And I pray, dreamer, that you overcome that.
I don't know if this makes a difference, but you also added that this was a lucid dream.
Well, the general idea, folks, when we're talking about a lucid dream is you can inject, if you want to talk about symbolically, you would inject the idea of, now I'm aware of this issue. I'll give you this one quick example in my book. And my friend, John, he had this dream where he was in a car and then he became aware, lucid, while he was in the car, and he was being driven, right? And then he tried to get out, but there was a seatbelt around him. So what he literally became aware of in the dream and in his life was the influences that was holding him back, that was taking him somewhere. You see that? So again, you have the car, someone else was driving, he was in the back seat. That's super symbolic, okay? And then he noticed when he tried to get out, it was difficult. So it was more difficult than you imagined. There's more to the dream than that, but you can see the symbolically of injecting lucidity into the dream.
Michael, thank you for those interpretations. Thank you for coming. I don't
hope
think
everybody had fun.
I don't think though that you've changed your YouTube name to Dream Detective, did you? Because I thought I saw you there earlier. You did. Okay, maybe it was somebody else.
I began changing everything. I changed that a few days ago.
Right.
And and also so in terms of a promotion, I am trying to get more on YouTube, but I am doing a lot of stuff on IG, and people really seem to like it. I'm doing a lot of bits of shorts of like teaching bits about it, about why is it weird, why is it all that stuff, and we're having a lot of fun. So, but Jeff, thank you. Thank Mara, thank the chat, even for suggesting this. You remember when you first suggested this? Like, hey, you can come on sometime.
Yeah.
And we'll do this.
All right, Michael, well, have a great weekend. We'll see you later, bud.
All right. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night. And a big round of applause for Michael. And next up is Tony. Now, is this the Tony that had the NDE from the chat room? Or not? By the way, Penny just reminded me, our website...
Oh, no.
Hello?
Jeff, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Am I connected?
You're connected. We just can't see you yet. We can hear you. There you are. Hey, Tony.
Okay, cool. Hey.
Welcome. All right, are you Tony's from the chat that had
Tony
the ND?
Correct, yes.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Oh, it's not my last name, but it's pronounced correct. It was my nickname growing up.
All right, great. Where are you in New York?
I am in New York.
Okay.
I'm in Staten Island.
Staten Island?
I've been on before.
I thought so, yeah. I thought so.
Yeah.
But, well, didn't we talk about your NDE before? Or did you this was 3 weeks ago, right?
This was a new one. Yeah, this is weird. And one thing I have to clear up with you, because when I first came on the first time, I told you that I'm a very sensitive person, even though I don't seem like it. What I meant, the word I left out, is sensitive to energy. So don't feel like you can't say anything to me, or you could be conversational with me. You're not going to insult me. I'm slow to anger.
All right. That's good to know. Thank you. So 3 weeks ago, you died or almost died. What happened?
All right. 3 weeks ago, it was weird. And like I said, I'm still processing this. So it was an anxiety attack. I've had anxiety for 10 years. But I really learned to control it over the last 7, 8. So it hasn't bothered me in a long, long time. Right. And then out of nowhere, I just started getting anxiety little by little. And there's plenty of people who deal with this. So you know how it creeps up. And the more you let it affect you, or you become cognizant that it's affecting you, the more it does affect you. Long story short, it brought me to the point where I felt like this is the best way I can explain it at this point. It felt like I had to take a back seat in my own body. I wasn't talking. It was like I was frozen. It was almost like being sleep paralyzed. But after a while, of being, because it lasted for about 8 hours. Um, it sounds crazy, and I know they all do, but so after a while, I got to this point where, and I think I'm jumping around. I think I figured out why the first thing most NDEs start with, or most people say they start with, is the white light or the tunnel. Because eventually I got to a point where it was almost like I was seeing where I was at in my journey in this incarnation. And basically what I saw was that I'm at the last, basically on my last chance. I heard someone describe it really good on this channel, that the girl said that there's 6 events that have to happen in any, let's say, in chronological order, in order for her to know that once that 6th event happens, that's the end of this incarnation. Once she knows 3 of them have happened, enough is set in stone where no matter what happens, it's just a matter of time where this incarnation will come to an end. Basically, it was like I seen that. It was like I'm at that crossroads or that quandary, which is, yeah, that really is not the part that bothered me. The whole thing really didn't bother me much, because after that, this is where it got unique, and it gets weird. It was almost like I was then shown or brought to the light, and that's what I've heard people say on your channel. And this is where it became like more of a like real deal NDE. At one point, I saw what I believe was God showing me new souls being created, or let's say a new soul that has been created. It's the weirdest analogy that I could think, but this is what it was like experiencing, to show the new soul. And this is no bodies. This is pure in a dimension where it's just all energy. Picture slingshotting energy back and forth at each other, but it couldn't hurt us. And it was almost like a conveyor belt of this going on, unlimited floors up and down, unlimited souls amounts. And basically it was older, wiser souls showing younger, brand new souls what it's like when you commit a hurtful to someone on Earth, or what it's like when you yell at someone, just showing them how they can affect other people and affect other people's emotions. And that was, and that lasted for a while. And then at one point, it was like I was just at peace, and the best way I could describe it is I went to the light. And then eventually, little by little, it started to wear off, because there was that, what I just described right there, that was in the thick of it, where I was blacked out. I didn't remember anything. When I came to from that, I was actually throwing up, and like I had no idea. It was, so like I said, there was some trauma associated with it. And yeah, that's, I don't know, you tell me anything you could make of that.
Well, I'm not the
That's great question.
Well, how has your life changed since that experience?
Like I said, it was only 3 weeks ago, but actually I just started a new job 2.5 weeks ago, and it's finally in the career field that I wanted to be in. So
that's great. Well, that's a positive thing. And what about your anxiety? Has that improved?
Well, thank you, and thank God. The next day I was still a little on edge. I started to feel a little bit of anxiety, but other than that day, since then it's gotten much better, and it's went back in check, basically where it was for the last 10 years.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that part is.
You know, I had one guest one time that he kind of tried to explain I don't know I don't know if it was being birthed or separate or becoming separate from source or whatever, but starting out I think what he said was it was like he was like a little bubble of energy, basically, and all these bubbles were together like brand new spirits. And
Really?
yeah, and I don't remember. I wish I could remember exactly which podcast that was, but um,
I may have seen that one. Now that you keep,
it's
if
a
you talk a little
male,
bit
it's a
more about
guy,
it.
and gosh, I'd have to
Hmm.
just kind of flip through my thing. But he was also, I don't even remember how he had his NDE.
Was he a younger guy? Was he like like 30, like around my age, maybe?
I have a
Or younger?
feeling no. I think he's an older guy like me in his 50s.
Okay.
But
Okay, I could be. I am bad with names,
but
but I'm good with face.
well, I don't, and but no, I'm just kidding around. But I mean, I don't honestly. He could be. I don't remember. You know, that's the bad thing. But I don't feel too guilty about it because I do a show every day, and it's just hard to remember every single NDE and every little detail of them. But we were talking about that, and he said something like that. He did some kind of charitable act, or it was like you were in line or something, and he did something charitable or selfless, and that act gave him the ability to now incarnate as a being.
I'm pretty sure I remember the one you're talking about, and I think it's the face that I have put to it in my head. But also at this point, you've done what? You've got to be coming up on 1,000 at this point.
Well, about over 500 NDEs, and today's video is like 8 something.
Oh yeah, I meant like total podcast. Yes,
Yeah,
you're coming
8.
up on 1,000.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
you're not gonna be able to remember them like that anymore.
Right. But it's different from what yours is, but I mean, it still has to do with energy.
Yeah,
and yours
it has
is
that element.
that was creating. Would you say it was creating energy or just taking raw energy and slingshotting it around back and forth?
No. It wasn't just creating energy and slingshotting it around. No, these were souls, and
Okay.
they were being shown what it's like, just to do a harm, because these are, like, if they were brand new souls, the way I understood it, they would have never incarnated at that point. The way I understood, God showed me like he just made these souls. So to show them what it's like to yell at someone or inflict pain on them, they wouldn't have the reference point of Earth. They've never lived an incarnation. And he was actually like, they would picture them slingshotting at me and you talking right now. And it would be like, oh my God, even though they couldn't hurt us, to show them, because it couldn't hurt them, to show them back what it's like, how intrusive it is, or what it's like to yell at someone, make them not feel good. We would like slingshot ourselves back at them, and they would be like, oh, it'd be like their first learning experience. Yeah, that's the best way I could think of what it meant to me, and I'm curious to see what the chat says and what everybody else says.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what how they will break it down. There is another guest I had, and she used the word seated. And some guests will say that we are all God, and and when we return, we become God again. But she said the very first time that you become a separate being from God, God takes a piece of himself, and here's the piece, and now that's you or me or whoever. The very first separation is called being seated. And that's a woman who talked about that. I don't remember that. That's another podcast, but that really stuck out in my mind. And I never knew that term before, being seated. And I thought that was fascinating.
I might have heard it once or twice before, but before I forget, because I thought of it and then I forgot it. This is the even crazier part. I had been asking God for an NDE without without anything bad happening, any accident, and it was, I asked for it for a couple of months. Can I have one without trauma? And it was, I don't know how it was like I asked for it and I got it, and it was basically I was asking to like be relieved of all this stress here and everything that goes on here, because we know how tough it is on Earth. I think we're all, especially in 2023, we all get it. And it was like, this is the other thing. I've heard every ND almost say this. they remember where everything that ever was, is, and ever will be, and we're God's perfection. I also got that out of it. That was like I think it was RJ Spinner who's in the chat. I was just telling him how much I enjoy his content. I think it was his, when he talked about NDEs and stuff. It was him that it's something that we know so innately, and it resonates so strongly that once we are reminded of it, we're like, oh my God, how could I have forgotten that I'm all this? Like, we are part of God and God is part of us. The same way we can't live without him, he can't exist without us either.
Right.
That's how much we mean to him. It was it was as if it all flooded back in a second, and all I needed was that 1 second, and I'll be good for as many years as I live now. It was that type of knowing and resonating.
Well, it's fascinating that you added that extra piece of information about you were asking for the NDE. Do you think you manifested this anxiety attack in order to have this experience?
I don't know. I mean, and this is why I said I wasn't sure if I should come on and talk about it, because I'm still processing it. It was so recent that there's things I would have forgotten, and I would have been mad if I forgot that last part. Because it was so profound, even though it was for a second. But wait, I'm sorry. You asked the question you just asked again.
I asked, do you think you manifested this anxiety attack so you would have an NDE-like experience because you kept asking for it? And I guess,
you know what?
Maybe you needed, even though you didn't need physical trauma, maybe I don't know, maybe you need some kind of stressful event to have an NDE-like experience, unless you're a great meditator.
I do meditate all the time. Yeah. I mean, but no, I don't know. I don't know if I manifested it, or I don't know. At this point, I really believe in pre-birth plans. And I do believe that we agreed, to come here and to live these lives. And knowing myself, I would have put it right where I would have needed it. Right if I felt I was getting to a point where, like, I don't want to go on any longer, because that's never been my attitude, I would put it right where I would need it. So is that saying I manifested it? Is it saying God and I agreed on it? However you want to put it, I'm okay with it. But yeah, it was crazy. I'll tell you one other thing, and this is, people may not believe this, but I'm a straight shooter. Every single prayer that I've ever prayed has been answered.
Wow.
Now,
that's awesome.
It's not been answered when I wanted it to be answered, but it was answered exactly when I needed it to be answered, which could have been 10 years later, but that's the truth.
That's amazing. Can you give us an example of one?
I got in trouble when I was 17. I got into a bad fight with someone and it got carried away. And that person's grandfather his whole family was cops, and they made the police uniforms for the cops for the last 80 years in New York City. And I was facing 5 to 10 years in prison on my first court appearance, and I was 17. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty shaken up. I was like, this is really, really serious. In the end, I ended up getting probation. It was expunged off my record. It never affected me a day in my life.
Wow.
That's one that and that court case lasted for almost 3 years. So it didn't happen quick, but it was granted. And that's a humongous thing that I didn't, I couldn't have affected.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And could I have gotten into a fight with the worst person to get into a fight with?
Yeah.
Of all the people in the world.
Right. Yeah. But
if he's watching this, I'm sorry, and I'm glad that he didn't get hurt and nothing bad happened.
That's good. Tony, thank you for coming and sharing with us, bud. We appreciate it. And if you figure things out more, come back and let's talk about it once you finish processing it.
It'd be my pleasure, and it's my honor to come on. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks. Bye. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye-bye. And a big round of applause for Tony. So, I was going to announce that our website is up. It's still got some glitches to it. We've been working hard on it. It's almost done, but hopefully it'll be completely finished very soon. And I'm thinking about adding another page. I can add more pages. We have a page about testimonials. We have a page about us in particular. We have a page about the podcast, and links to the store and links to the YouTube channel, which the YouTube channel is not right. It goes to the Spanish videos, which should be going to like our next latest video, but that's there. I was thinking about either putting like, you know, like sometimes on our Facebook page, I'll put news stories that I'll talk about. I haven't done it late in a while because we've been so busy that I haven't actually had to break to news stories. But I'm wondering if you guys have any ideas or anything that you would like to see on our website, what else we could put there, you know, to help it serve you and to make it cool. Let's see, what else is there that is new? So that's the new on the JeffMara podcast. And then on there, I've always been using my Yahoo email address, but I finally got a new email address, and it's so I can kind of separate. I've got people emailing me from like three places, sometimes four from old places, many places people email me about being on the show. And so there's so many different places that I'm trying to get it all to one place. So with the website, I created a JeffMara podcast email address. I think it's jeff@jeffmarapodcast.com. So hopefully I can eventually route everybody there and I won't lose stuff, because sometimes I've just got so many emails, excuse me, so many emails are coming that they get lost. You know, it's conversations. It's usually not an email like, hi, I would like to be the guest, and okay, great, let's schedule. There's conversations that go, and then we go back and forth on what day is going to work for you, what time's going to work for you. Then someone else emails and someone else emails. So it gets like layers of emails, and sometimes they just start getting buried and I lose track of them. So I hope this will help sort that out. And on that note, we've got about 15 minutes left. So it's been busy up here to the end. Let me see if I have any new news for you guys before I get going here. And see what are the latest guests that are coming. And I've got to get my desk sorted out too. As you see, I saw Randall on that was here for a few minutes. He's going to be with me recording his NDE. Now, next Saturday, I'm going to be recording with Dr. Jeffrey Long. He is the creator of the NDERF website. And I don't know what kind, I think he's a radiologist, maybe a cancer radiologist or something, but some type of radiologist. But he's been in the NDE world from way back in the day, probably from the beginning, like Dr. Bruce Grayson, and he's done a lot of NDE research. So that's going to be a big guest, and it should be really a great show. All right, we have Shira coming on. Now, Shira's been a guest from a long time ago, and she's generally always here. She was gone for a little while due to her surgery. We missed her from one or two, but she's back.
Hello,
and there
how
she
are
is.
you?
Great. How are you? How are you feeling? How are you recovering from your surgery?
I have had absolutely zero pain in my hip.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got a healing from who? And tell us about it.
Minnie Rapunzel did Reiki sessions on me.
Now, this is like through Zoom or what? Or does she live in Memphis with you?
No, she's in Ohio.
Okay, so how did she do that?
She just did it, just by, I don't know, Reiki is energy coming from someone's like hands.
Right.
And she just did it across the country.
Across the ethos.
Before my surgery and during and after. And I looked because I had my left hip replaced. And I was like, I was in 3 weeks of extreme pain 8 years ago. And I went and looked on videos on YouTube about, how people feel after a hip replacement. They're all in pain 2 to 4 weeks. And so I called my doctor's office and I said, have you ever heard of someone coming out of a hip replacement and having zero pain?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, not in, for 40 years. No, no,
Wow.
we've never heard of it. So Minnie Rapunzel did some amazing Reiki sessions on me. And I didn't even know what was going on at first. I wanted to be her guinea pig, but I didn't know that she had started getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that and prayers. I mean, God's in all of it. God's in the
Mm-hmm.
Reiki, God's in the prayers, God's in the my wishes. And so yeah, it's amazing.
That's
It's just zero
awesome.
pain. 7 months it's been collapsing. So it's been grinding and clicking and popping. And I just at any moment it was just gonna go. I don't know that I could have made it even a couple more weeks.
So can you walk now with this new hip?
I can walk better. I have stenosis in my lower back.
Okay.
We're doing the radio frequency ablation where you burn the nerves and
Right.
you keep doing it till the nerves stop. And then I don't hear, I'm in pain down here, I'm in pain. You know,
Right. Right.
that goes away. And then my knees have bone and padding missing. But I mean, to not have this pain in my hip is just
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So
That's
thank you
awesome.
all for your prayers and Minnie Rapunzel for her healing and God above to bless me to.
Well, thank you, Minnie Rapunzel.
Yeah.
You know, we thought about you the other day when my wife and I were eating those stoop waffle cookies. And we
Mm.
remember you liked those.
Oh yeah, they were. I just got a little package, and they were
Mhm.
gone in no time at all.
Yeah,
But
those
that
are
was
delicious. I don't... All right, well, Shira, thank you so. What else would you want to say? I'm sorry.
I had put in Discord. I think we're just kind of putting some feelers out there and seeing kind of some interest
Mm-hmm.
in us having a JeffMara retreat
Yeah.
and have our near and dear friends come and have a cabin. And I looked into transportation from the airport to real nice Neiman Forest campgrounds. It has like over 13,000 acres.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing some wonderful food like spaghetti, pizza night, subs, maybe
Now,
some
if you are out at a national park, how are you going to get pizza?
There is a company, well, so we have great caterers. And there's one Garibaldi's. The family's been around for about 100 years. And they do phenomenal pizzas and spaghettis and all kinds of Italian subs. They have little vans where they
Mm-hmm.
bring the food, and there's industrial kitchens in these campgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And see if we could do a retreat for a weekend. Now,
Right. We were just throwing around ideas.
yeah.
She mentioned there. I mentioned it would be, I don't know who would come because honestly, I feel like the numbers would be low, but you never know. And then we said that we threw out, that was somewhere in Arkansas or Tennessee. I said, what about Mount Shasta? I said, what about a JeffMara cruise? What about, I don't know if I'd really want to go to Vegas, but what about Sedona? Those are all ideas, but and we'll see. We'll see how much interest is,
We got
I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if I can entertain you guys for 2 or 3 days.
Well, I thought we would have speakers. We may be able to see one of your interviews live.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a bonfire ghost stories or bonfire UFO meditation.
Mm-hmm. We could do a big CE5 event.
Right. Yeah. And we would have speakers and and then events for the kids, some arts and crafts, and maybe a sock hop on Saturday night and do something fun for the kids. But it would, we got to start somewhere. So it's not going to be 1,000 people. We can have 1,000 people. You can't talk to them all.
Right.
But if you have 250, 400, then, you can get around and meet a lot more people and sit down and have coffee with them. So this is an idea. Several people have said, let's make it next year. So something like maybe, just throwing this out, the end of April.
It's always best for me because I have kids to do it in the summer.
Right.
When they're out of school.
Right. We'd have to go.
So you need to go somewhere where it's nice and cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
but early summer, so that would be the beginning of June.
right. Memphis is pretty hot in that time. But yeah, we can look at Memphis is not the only stop. I wanted to get something where it was centrally located for people to come. And if you have kids, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Mhm.
They could have a sitter for a day or a weekend, or come with you and just miss one day of school. I mean, it's not like a week-long obligation.
Right.
But anyway, if you
Yeah.
guys will give feedback,
Well, that we should make a Discord, one of the Discord channels, call it JeffMara Retreat, JeffMara Camping, something.
yeah,
There's also, yeah, I'm not going to make it this year, but every year Ions has their big conference, and you don't have to stay at the hotel wherever they have. You know, you can always stay somewhere else in town, wherever it is. This year, I think it's in Virginia Beach. I don't know, or Virginia or somewhere. I don't know where it will be next year, but that's also an idea that not only can we hang out together, but you can watch NDEs all weekend.
yeah, yeah. That would be awesome. I priced that out, and it was a little pricey, but you know,
I don't know what it costs. I have no idea.
it was like $1,000 for 2 days, and
That's just to go and just
it's
to
like a weekend
attend.
pass and stay at the.
That's including your hotel or just to go to the actual event?
Oh, that was your hotel and the events. You know, you get like a weekend pass, and then
Mhm.
you share a room with somebody you don't know because the rooms are skyrocket.
Right. You know
But
that,
I mean,
well,
just
somebody
looking
mentioned
at
it here. Beyond the Veil said that they're in North Carolina. You know, what's fascinating is I've had so many guests this month from the North Carolina mountains, and they've all said that it's been in the 70s there. So if you want
that
to
is
go to
phenomenal.
that's a beautiful place. It's all that Cherokee area of North Carolina, Asheville, Cherokee.
Yes. One thing that, when we were kicking this around and just talking about it is we've got to get people from the airport to the area,
Yeah.
like to the campground or to Mount Shasta. And I priced it out if it was, and I haven't talked to the people at this campground yet, but, to get people from the airport, that's part of the package.
Mhm.
Here in Memphis, it was like, if everybody, people got in a bus, it'd be $13. If somebody took their own Uber, it'd be 40.
Right.
So what I did was transportation, food, and cabin, and I was coming in at right at under $500 for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, leave out Sunday weekend. Then you just have to get here.
Right.
Car, bus, train, plane,
Yeah, whatever it does.
whatever it takes.
All right, well, I need to create one of those things in Discord, and then more if people get serious, we can figure it out. I mean, I don't want to be a downer, but we have almost 100,000 subs, and I'm only getting about 400 people. Today, it's 285 people just to come to the live stream, and you don't even
Right.
have to leave your house to do that.
Right. Well, we don't have the bonfire and we don't have the live stuff, and I don't know. But if Jeff will get it on Discord,
Mhm.
you got yay, nay, got some ideas, everything's up to look at and price out and
Yeah, it would be
figure.
fun. It'd be pretty
Yes.
cool. It'd be pretty fun.
So
All right. Well, listen, Shira,
I love
thanks
you
for
guys.
coming on and starting it. We love you too. And I'm going to move
Right.
to the next person. Have a great weekend.
You too. All right. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
And a big round of applause for Shira. And for Minnie Rapunzel for healing Shira, at least taking her pain away. And next we've got Mr. Cake. It's not Steven on the golf course today. I guess he's back at home. We'll see. He's almost here.
Hello,
It is-
everyone.
It is Steven on the golf course.
We're on the golf course.
Wow.
We're on it. It's just me. I'm all by myself right here.
And that's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
It looks really peaceful out there. It's almost like your own personal meditation.
Yeah, it's
Wait, there's
peaceful,
somebody
right? So you're-
behind you.
Hello.
It's not empty after all.
Yeah, there's nobody out here. Yeah, it's peaceful right until you hit a golf shot.
It's peaceful until you hit a hole in
That's-
one.
That's what I'm gonna try to do right now. We're gonna try to do a live hole in one, folks.
So did you hear the last conversation about having a
No.
JeffMara camping trip?
Oh,
Would
very
you-
fun, very fun.
Would you be down to meet everybody somewhere for a JeffMara camping trip? I think they would.
It's
I
possible,
think
but I
that
haven't
I think that everybody in the
a
chat
long
would.
time.
I think everybody in the chat would love to meet you live.
Yes, they would.
To have you live, a live juggling of orbs by a giant bonfire.
Well, I could do that. We're gonna see if I can get. Let's see if I can line this up here. Throw those down there. There we go. Here's some balls. Here's some balls there. We got the birdie feathers here for good luck. here.
Oh, nice! I had you. Did you miss? I had feathers this today too.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's all luck out here. So
Now you gotta wear. You looks like you're wearing snow gloves.
I gotta wear these thick gloves because my hands just can't take it. And then I probably should have done it the other way. But lefty, hit the ball. God bless this shot. May get on the green. Here we go.
So you're a lefty, huh?
No hole in one, but it's right on there. Yeah, well, I golf left-handed.
Somebody wants to know if you can actually sing in Trump's voice.
Let me tell you something, folks. We are coming back. Number one, number two. We're coming back for you. We're gonna give you everything you want. I said during the Enlightenment, God said I should be a ruler or some kind of person because I love people, but I hate evil. And there's just a lack of caring. I say they gave me this mind, so they're like my mind. I don't know how they did that, but they made it easier for me to do things like hitting a golf ball for
Do
no
you
reason out in the woods.
have the mind jackers ever hit the ball for you?
I say that we have an untapped potential in us. So I use an analogy like our mind is the boss and our body's the worker. So I just ask my body, please hit this on. So I'll say either God bless this shot, may it get on the green, or I like to use $1 million if I get this on the green. Something like that.
You know, someone just said in the comment, and it's a great thing, that Donald Trump basically is always making deals on the golf course. And there you are.
We're going to do it. We're going to do some big things and you're going to love it.
So how's your week been, Steven? What you been up to all week? Just golfing every day or what?
So, you know, I try to get out every day. It's like I need a purpose in life, not just hitting golf balls, but like even if I was teaching it or doing something like that, because just sitting in a room is not good for me. But
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not doomed.
No, I think it's great that you get out. I mean, being in nature can be meditative.
Yeah, but it's like I need a purpose. That's what we'll see if we can get up to this shot here a second. We're gonna run up there, folks. We're gonna get it. Oh yes, we hit a ball very far. I love golfing. Just so everyone can see how good I am here.
Now, and we've taken it to the next level. Instead of walking with Steven,
We gotta go. We gotta go.
It's now running with Steven.
I'm running for something. Yeah, I gotta run for something.
But
Maybe
let me ask you
president?
this. Have you ever tried juggling golf balls?
Oh, I could easily do that, yes. Let's see here if we can start seeing this. Okay. So here's my pin. Here's my little divot. There's the ball. I don't know if you can see there. Let's see if I can. This is like something new on the JeffMara podcast, I think.
Wow. Look at this.
Can we make this? I need the whole audience to have to go in because here we go. All right.
Or that you guys didn't know that you're on the PGA. Oh, good. Almost.
Hey, we'll get them next time.
I notice you have. What are the straps around your legs below your knees?
It just feels better if I have that. Like my knees they slightly hurt.
I was gonna say, do you have shin splints or something?
I don't know what I have. But during the Enlightenment, I said Mary was the primary voice, and she did not want me wearing those. It was just what you need only. So for 6 months, I was trained, and then like I just started resisting it more and more. Because at one point they said they'd just take over my body, and they could do that.
Right.
And I had so much more energy too. But I still get energy when I'm talking to good people. So it's like I say, I'm like an empath. It's like when I'm around, when you're one with everything, when you're around great people, it's like you're feeling great. When you're around real mean people, but they made it so I can deal with it better. Because I say it's like this is what they tell me is that like reality just is, and we can't ever figure it out. What exactly? Because I didn't think it was even possible. But let's see if I can do some little juggling. Yeah, we can angle that up.
How many golf balls do you have with you?
Here's oh, I have a lot. All right, there we go. 5. You see it? I don't know.
Is that 5?
Yeah. I can't look at the camera to see at the same time. So.
What is your maximum? 8?
5. Well, I don't work on I don't know. So, I'm not very. I can't. There's a word like strong or something. I don't know. I watched a Russian 12-year-old girl. She juggles 500 balls in the air. I can only do 3. What is wrong with me? Oh, I'm not. I don't hit the longest drives ever, but I hit them great, and that's what's important. I don't juggle the most balls ever, but when I do juggle them, they're good. So they're good. They're very nice. They work out very special for me. It's just like when I'm on a stage. My jokes are fine, but I'm not a comedian, if you know what I mean.
Well, Steven, I've got to do what I've got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, man. All right. So it's a blessing here. I hope everyone has a great day, and God bless everyone.
Thank you, Steven. God bless you. And I hope you hit a hole-in-one while you're on the court this evening.
I'll be getting one this year. I know for sure. Right.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Cheers. Oh, he's gone. Round of applause for Steven. From Mr. Cake. Thank you, Steven. God bless you. And I hope. And we have Leslie here. Leslie, how are you? Looks like you did you get a new mic? Oh, he doesn't hear me yet.
Yeah.
Did you get a new mic, Steve? Did you get a new microphone?
Not really.
Oh, looks different.
Yeah.
How are you this week, Leslie?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. I'm fine.
Great. So for those of you, most of you probably know Leslie, but for those of you that don't, he channels music live, and he keeps the paranormal party going after I finish the podcast. You'll be there tonight, won't you?
Yes, definitely.
So if you guys, once we finish, you don't have to log out, you can go to Leslie's YouTube channel and hang out with him, and he'll channel music with you, and you guys can keep hanging in the chat and talking with each other.
Yeah, it's really just my name, Leslie Kings.
That's how you find him.
Very easily, yeah. I just really, really enjoy I try and be the last for your, well, maybe we have other people, I'm not sure, but definitely around 10, I feel in my heart to come a little bit refresh, and maybe people can a little bit getting coffee or relaxing, and things don't need so much concentration, but just receiving. Yeah, I'm very happy for this. But very interesting what you shared about your camp or something.
Well, yeah, that was Shira's idea. Shira came up with the idea that if we all get together and have like a big camping retreat somewhere, bring it. It's just something that we're kind of toying with the idea, and I thought, why not? We get, if we get a bunch of you guys going, it would be more fun. We have, at least if we could get all 250 people here in the chat, that would be amazing.
Yeah, this is really a good idea.
Maybe you will take a trip from Hong Kong and join us.
If it's next year and planning, everything is possible.
I know if we don't have electricity, you won't be able to bring your keyboards, but maybe you can bring an accordion or something that doesn't need electricity.
Yeah, I'm not sure for it. But how to say, okay, you are 21, if I remember your age.
No, I wish.
No?
21 was a long time ago for me.
Really? Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I thought totally did. I don't ask you for it. It was a happy birthday I did a few months ago, but
Thank you.
I always, but I thought it was 21, okay.
Oh, wow.
So
those days are long gone.
Anyway, I'm, a little bit young man, also 67 close.
67?
Yeah.
Close? Then you're younger than me.
Really? Okay. This is what's good. Not. So let's.
Let's have you channel something for us.
Yeah, definitely. I always coming for just share with music something and continue keep going the same frequency. One good news for this podcast after the next half hour. For always I playing half hour. This is be the number 8 half hour. No, number 16. That means I can have one whole night at 8 hours recording. So if I put in a playlist all, the people can really enjoy whole night, just listen this recording, but always after your podcast I record it. So this is quite good time already for relaxing. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
All right,
so
you
I'm
ready?
Yeah.
Right. Let's leave it up to you.
Oh.
That was beautiful, Leslie. That was really beautiful. Great job.
Thank you, but let me sing well, but you're playing, you know, I love it, this also,
Yeah.
you know. How many instruments you play, basically?
You know, gosh, I don't know. None of them I play as good as you do. Maybe the drums. I'm actually most competent as a drummer, but I took a little piano, a little guitar, a little bass, a little trumpet, you know. I think, as you know, once you learn how to read music, you can just apply it to any instrument, right?
You know, I am a little bit opposite. I don't want to argue with you, but the first is, there's a matter about your knowledge. You have a wonderful heart.
Thank you.
And even just the simple things, you're playing a few chords through the heart with love, and for yours, it's enough. People be really touched by the few things. I never practiced in my life. What?
Wow. You never took one piano? You never took one piano lesson in your life?
No. When I have a really small child, I learned classical. But when I accepted Jesus, and God asked me for don't play, for I was, as you know, rock musician. I don't play 7 years. So if somebody don't practice, maybe just a few times, the teacher really recognized for, I want to know practice. But 7 years, I totally big wood. But Lord has changed my life, my heart and everything. And after I begin once again. So when I have some performance or some meeting or people invited for recording with openly, I show what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. So first, I filling up hours and hours with His power, His love, really relaxing in higher places. So amazing until when I hear His word, it's enough, or He shares something, guidance. So this is when I'm ready. The second things, before I go to stage, I do this. No, I don't recommend to everybody do so fast. I don't do it very fast, for it's very painfully. But this is make for your finger. Everything can submit to your heart. So I just follow what is coming out from me. So many of my students is so wonderful, for some is 8 years, some is over 60. Yeah. And they, I remember one of the students come to me, I'm so sorry, I'm really 61. My answer was, okay, you're not reaching the 80 years, but okay, I can take you for student. He's very good. The other problem for people thinking you must learn many years. No. After a few months, step by step you can play. It's really just not so much practice. A little bit you need take out about your flesh for can work, but the heart is important. And the music is just same as, what play about all musicians. The chord is not changed, the music notes not change. I cannot anymore sight reading, for not so good my eyes, but improvise, channeling, spontaneously play. This is what God given for me.
And you're definitely great at it.
I'm really very thank you for, you don't know, but before your podcast, I was at a season around 4 or 5 years for not play piano. So if somebody visit my YouTube channel, I have a little bit about the piano music or recording is often before 2016's music, but the last few months, basically, when really changed the new season, you must take the wave. You can do many self-centered type of playing when you play and you share your gift, but have a time when it's just really flowing, put yourself on the water and just allow to go everywhere getting the move.
Well, Leslie, thank you so much for coming and playing with us tonight. We really appreciate you. And guys, again, if you want to keep hanging out together and chatting, just skedaddle over onto Leslie's channel. He'll be there channeling some music for you.
Welcome. And God bless you and see you next time.
All right, we'll see you next time, Leslie. You have a great evening. Well, I guess a great morning over there in Hong Kong.
Thank you.
All right, God bless you. And don't report. And then the next one, I still wish I had a button that just automatically did this for me. That would go a lot smoother. That's one thing that I think Zoom needs to figure out. All right, so before we go, if you look in the description below, again, we have the JeffMaraPodcast.com. We have a link to the JeffMara Facebook page. We have a link to my personal Facebook page. If you want to friend me, I'm accepting friends until I reach 5,000. You'll find out my last name is Reynolds. Mara is my beloved wife, and the podcast is named after both of us. You'll find a link to the Indie Eclipse channel. You'll find a link to our music channel, a link to our cooking channel. And I guess that's about it. And how to email me if you want to be a guest or know somebody who would like to be a guest and you want to pass along my information, it's there. So that was a busy night tonight. We went a little bit over time, but not too much. And so that's it, guys. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for watching our videos. We really appreciate you. We love you. God bless you, and good night.